Welcome back to another edition of The House that Alan Built. I'm Scott Kinmartin. With me, as always,
Greg Vollmer.
In today's episode 19, the Buffalo Bills are taking on the Detroit Lions at 9:30 a.m. over here Pacific time at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan.
Turkey Day.
So hopefully Josh Allen does what he did a couple years ago.
This is the third year in a row now, right? It was Cowboys, and then the Saints, and now the Lions.
That's right.
So now we're becoming a mainstay on Thanksgiving, which is awesome.
And Allen is usually a dog on Thanksgiving. Let's hope that he plays MVP caliber.
Yep.
And I think that he could.
Get back on the MVP track?
I hope so. I mean, there's 7 games left, and there's plenty of football left. Now, I'm not sure about when voting ends, but really that's going to be a moot point if they don't finish strong. If you're looking at the matchups here I've got on my phone, it looks like the Lions, who are 4-6, actually have a similar team from the Browns. They actually have a very good offense and a weak defense. So they are number 8 in scoring on offense, where Bills are second, only behind the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And points allowed, they are dead last, where the Bills are 4th. So the Bills are winning the point differential in the league right now. I think they are 107, plus 107. Really good. And when it comes to yards per game, the Lions are actually 7th overall, and Bills are 2nd. So
yeah,
it's going to be a good team. Their passing yards are 14th, and Bills are 3rd. You know they have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
The Sun God.
Yeah. Who else do they have?
DJ Chark, who's been unhealthy for a majority of the year.
They really don't have much.
Josh Reynolds that they got in free agency.
Rams and Titans. Well, DeAndre Swift, right?
They've relied heavily on the running game, but it's instead of DeAndre Swift lately, it's been what used to be the backup.
Yep.
In Williams.
Williams has like 11 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Swift, who was the Hard Knocks star.
Yeah, he had the huge motivational speech that got a lot of attention. That was
It got you
inspiring.
motivated.
Got me motivated, man.
You were ready for the season.
I was ready to jump through a wall, and it's not even my team, but.
Well, Swift, for whatever reason, he's only 5'9", like 205 or something, but he's been a good back, and Georgia running backs have done really well, or pretty well in the NFL. And I feel like for him being in his now 3rd season, you would think he was the bell cow, but instead, just like the Browns again, you've got a main guy like Chubb, and for this Lions team, it's Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
And then you've got Swift, who's more of the receiving back right now, and that's more like Kareem Hunt. But they used Chubb like that last week against the Bills. Either way, these teams are pretty comparable. So if we can go into this game with the similar approach of checking down, taking what the defense gives us, and if we're healthy enough, Mitch Morse is banged up right now, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. But if we're healthy enough to just keep going, play it smart, let's have a fun, exciting, high-scoring Thanksgiving game.
Yeah, it's going to be another good test for our defense. And, we, like you said, we were able to contain Chubb and Hunt last week. And so now it'll be another, tough test between Swift and Williams. They're a heck of a duo. And Dan Campbell has the team playing with a lot of grit.
Three wins in a row.
3 wins in a row, and I've been watching some of their post-game speeches that Campbell's been giving, and he's just been reiterating, let's get another one, let's stack win on wins, and he's, they started with 1, then they started with 2, and now this week he's been saying let's get 4 in a row, and they're going to be coming out hungry, so it's going to be, I think, this should be a little bit more normal of a week for the Bills, getting past the whole blizzard and having to frantically get gathered to get onto a plane to go to Detroit last week. Hopefully things are semi-normal this week, and we can feel like we have a little bit more preparation because we're going to need it. The Lions, like I said, they're a gritty team. Dan Campbell has them playing really fundamentally sound right now, and but like you said, the vulnerability lies in their defense, and hopefully it would be nice to see another balanced game. I mean, it'd be nice, like we talked about in the beginning, to see Allen put up MVP numbers and throw 3 or 4 touchdowns.
He will.
But I wouldn't mind seeing another balanced game and seeing Motor and Cook get some carries too. And
I think Allen's going to run more than 3 for 7 yards. I think it will be balanced, but I still think that our offense, our passing game steps up more. I mean, we can't settle on 6 field goals.
No,
I don't care who it is.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And even though Detroit has statistically speaking, a weaker defense, Aiden Hutchinson, that guy last week had an interception. He looked like a DB out there.
He's a game
He's
wrecker.
a freak. Yes, and so we need to protect Allen. Whether Mitch Morse is out there or not, I mean, apparently they can't get all the snaps together anyway. We just need to come back into this game healthy. It's a short week because of our weird traveling. So Thursday, they're a 9-point favorite, and they're going to cover. What's your
Speaking
prediction?
of that, I was just going to ask you. You say your prediction first.
35-24 Bills.
35-24 Bills.
And the over-under is, I believe, 54. So that would cover the over for both.
I'm going to go 28-14 Buffalo.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take either one. I'll take a win if it's by 1 point. You know, we only won by 8 last week, but honestly, it was a much better game in the second half. I mean, we were down, 10-3. Then we went up 25-10. Then we were up 28-10. Then it was 28-16. You fell asleep.
Come on.
We got a field goal. It was 31-16. Then they scored 31-23.
Throw
And that
me
was
under
the final.
The bus like that.
Did you or did you not in the last few minutes of the game?
I fell asleep in the last few minutes of the game, and I missed the onside kick. I'm ashamed of myself.
The only thing you missed was Gabe Davis missing that line drive onside kick.
I ate some ribs. I had a few beers, and it doesn't take much to put me into a coma on a Sunday afternoon. And I put my head on the pillow on the couch, and it was night-night.
I'm looking at sacks. The Lions have 17. We have 28. So they're 27th. We're 12th. Interceptions, they have 8. We have 13. We're first. They're 12th. I just feel like we line up well with these guys, and I know they're hungry, and I know they're on a 3-game win streak. We were on a streak before we lost 2 in a row, and technically that's a streak too, right? And now we're back on the winning side, and I think that Allen, who's still a bit banged up, and our defense, which is still banged up, you've got, was it Rousseau in a boot, Morse in a boot, and then, he's not injured, but he's playing. And,
Motor, baby.
And hopefully, you've been singing his praises. You won that jersey at the Cheerful Bullpen, which is the Bills Backers Bar here in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, it's like a 3XL, so I'm wearing it
Look at
over a
this.
jacket.
I think I could fit inside of this.
It's huge, but that's all right.
You can't really tell.
It's
you just
big,
look like you're
but
wearing shoulder pads.
It's big, but Motor runs big, so.
He does. He does run big for his size. He's 5'7", 200. But
he runs angry.
Yeah.
I mean, you see him last week. He was breaking through tackles and dragging some people. He does not. Even the announcer said it on the broadcast. He's like, he may be 5'7", 5'8", 200, some odd pounds, but he runs bigger than that.
Yeah.
So
I think the Bills need to contain Jamal Williams. For whatever reason, they're not giving Swift many carries. I don't know if he's upset the franchise, if he's injured and they're not saying much, or what it is. But I went through and I started looking at the carries, and I could not believe what I was looking at. The fact that Swift has played 7 games.
He was injured.
I know, but that's 7 games. So he was injured for 3 games, right? So he comes back. Opening week, he has 15 carries, 144 yards, and a touchdown. And to go with that, he had 31 yards receiving. Since then, he's had 5 rushes, 7, 5, 2, 6, 5. 56 yards, 31, 6, 10, 6, 20. That's awful.
And it's
awful.
a testament to how much they trust Jamal Williams.
It is. And Jamal Williams, I've always liked him. But they're using Swift more as a receiver, but he still only has 31, 15, 27, 46, 12. I don't want to sleep on them, but I feel like the Bills should handle their business and win this game soundly.
Well, they're going to be comfortable playing in Ford Field.
Yeah, that's true. And they are once again visitors. Even though they were supposed to be the home team, they stayed in the visiting locker room. They're staying in the same hotel, so that familiarity will hopefully carry over. And I feel like it's just going on our side.
Well, I'm going to do a quick bold prediction. My bold prediction for Turkey Day.
Yeah.
Nyheim Hines is going to get a punt return for a touchdown. I'm going to call it right here.
That would be amazing. I mean, he had some great returns. I think he had 2 or 3 punt returns and 2 or 3 kick returns last week, and he gave us great field position for the offense, even though half of them only resulted in field goals. They will convert some of those as touchdowns. Allen will have his mojo back, and I feel like he always feasts on, pun intended, on Thanksgiving. So,
well, I mean, it's for the longest time. I remember back during the drought days, I was always upset. I was every year
That
would
they never
come,
played on
and I was
Thanksgiving.
always like, why can't the Bills get a Thanksgiving
But
game?
the Lions do, and we're playing the Lions.
Yeah,
so.
or just it was just one of those things where it's like something like just to have to hold like for an awesome day that is Thanksgiving and be like, hey, can even though our team sucks, can we just like get a game on Thanksgiving when the family's together and like you just even throughout the drought years you were still excited to watch the team, and so it's fun now to finally have the special game that the Bills had against the Cowboys, which was kind of their. I mean, that was kind of their
When Allen
welcome
picked up that fumble and got
welcome
the first
back
down.
to the national stage kind of a thing.
Yep.
And then you had him and Knox biting into the turkey legs
Oh, yeah.
afterwards.
Yep.
And then you get the game last year where we beat the crap out of the Saints. And again, they interviewed Allen, and who else was with him? It was Allen, Knox, and Diggs, I think, that were all eating
Yep.
the turkey legs. And so it's just cool to see now that the Bills have become a part of the Thanksgiving NFL tradition now over these last 3 years. And
Because the ratings,
and they're
when Bills are in the national spotlight, the ratings are up. Not just in Western New York, but people like seeing the underdogs in this team play. And with Allen at the helm, I feel like they're still ranked top 2, 3, 4 in the entire league. And even though Mahomes and the Chiefs beat them, they're still ranked just behind the Bills, and they should be. Although Mahomes is doing Mahomes things, and it's magical, and they came from behind and beat the Chargers, we do have to look out for them. I feel like Allen, if the team plays 7 or 8 out of 10 of their potential, they will win 9 out of 10 games.
How do you feel like compared to when we played the Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like? Do you feel like the team that's playing right now would still be able to beat them, or do you think we need to get healthy again? Do you think it's that same team that beat them back in?
Good question. It's not the same team. That was week 6, I think. And I feel like Kelsey, another 3-score game.
Set a record, NFL record for tight ends for the most 100-plus receiving yards games. I think he had 33 now in his career.
He's a wide receiver 1 in a tight end body. Mahomes always has him to go to. It's nice to see the Bills and Josh Allen using Knox that way recently. Hopefully for this game they'll do the same and maybe spell Kelsey. And with Lions without Hawkinson, that's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, maybe I'm having the Chiefs live rent free in my head, and I shouldn't. But we were talking about this before the podcast. Someone mentioned how when they watch the Chiefs play on offense and do what they do, they make it. They do the same thing the Bills do on offense, but they make it look easier. And I think there is some truth to that. Now I'm thinking that the Bills haven't hit their stride yet.
No.
I think that kind of like last year, there was the like last year there was the lull, in the first half of the game against the Bucks, and then they come back and they force overtime, and then it was like that resurgence.
I believe they won 5 straight after that.
So hopefully that's what we're seeing here. Hopefully Dorsey and Allen and company can kind of hit their stride when it matters down the stretch here, especially once after this game, and we don't want to sleep on this one, then we get the pivotal stretch of AFC East opponents, and we get some revenge that we got to try to get in Buffalo.
We need it. We need it because with the Dolphins having the head-to-head tiebreaker, after that, if we beat them, then we're tied, and then it's going to be, our conference record, head-to-head. It's gonna come down to the wire.
Hopefully, it's a similar trajectory where we catch fire again at the right time. Because I will agree with that person that said that. I agree right now. The Chiefs are doing the same thing the Bills are doing, except they're making it look a lot easier.
They are,
and testament to Andy Reid and company, because they're just every week, every year they're doing the same stuff with different pieces. And one thing we didn't mention about the Chiefs, even though I know we're supposed to be talking about the Lions, but
Tony got hurt.
Kadarius Toney got injured,
yep.
And that was starting to look like a genius pickup.
Yeah, that trade was nice.
But, I don't know. It's
that
like
levels the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, but it just seems like no matter what what you throw at Mahomes, or what pieces you take or give him, he works magic. So. With that said, we still have a team in the Bills and Allen that went into the Kansas City Chiefs home and took it to them and went toe to toe with them.
Yep.
And Allen came in through the clutch, and we still know that team is there. They just gotta They just got to find that fire again.
My prediction was 35-24. They win by 11. Your prediction is 28-14. They win by 14.
Yeah, I want to say more than 28, and then when you said 35, I didn't want to say the same thing. I have a feeling that they're going to get more than 28, but 28-14, they still win by 14. I'll stick with that. I think Hines is going to get a special teams touchdown.
All right. He's called it here.
Yeah.
Now let's go over these cards here before we take off. This here is Origins, and it's the 2021 Panini Origins football, Josh Allen. And I really like it. It's a big bang. Big bang. It's a cool case hit, so it is hard to come by, just like most of these cards I collect. What do you have there, Skippy?
I got the 2020 Panini Contenders Football MVP, and this one's the holographic insert, so it's not the base. It's
It's
makes
numbered.
it a little bit more rare, and it is numbered. I did not notice that. Yeah, 45 of 149, so pretty cool. Hopefully we got Allen playing like an MVP once again. He's always our MVP, but statistically speaking, he's in a little bit of a lull lately in the race, so hopefully gets back on track.
Hey, if the Bills pretty much win out and he lights it up and he eliminates those turnovers, I have his pace, which I'll pull up real quick on my phone. I calculated his pace. You know, it's very scientific and mathematic here.
You're all about the numbers.
Based on 10 games, you flex that out to 17 games, and Allen will be 405 of 626 for 65%, 4,981 yards, just under 5,000. I think he can hit it still. 36 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Now, that compared to last year, he had 63%, 4,400 yards, 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Pretty dang close. And then prior to that, you could just see his growth each year. His rookie year, he had 2,074 yards and 10 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Then he went to 3,089 yards, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Then he went to 4,544 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Then, like I said, 4,407 yards last year, 36 touchdowns, 15 interceptions.
Minus the interceptions, it's been just, incremental. Awesome
and even
growth.
his rushing. So looking at his rushing, his rookie year, 89 rushes, 631 yards, 8 touchdowns. 2019, 109 rushes, 510 yards, 9 touchdowns. And then in 2020, 102 rushes, 421 yards. So it was down, but his touchdowns were 8. So that was good. And then last year, 122 rushes, 763 yards, 6 touchdowns. This year, he's on pace for 120 rushes, 821 yards, which would be his most yet, at 6.8 yards average.
The fact that he's doing all the other stuff he does, and then he could almost be on pace to hit close to 900 rushing yards.
That's what makes him a lot different than Hurts or Fields or anyone else, because any of those dual threats, they don't end up with 7 touchdowns and 900 yards, but also throw for nearly 5,000 yards. And I feel like that's what his pace will be, and I think he can reach it. He had 197 yards last week. He should break 300 this game. I would love for him to just torch the Lions. As much as I respect and love that fan base and the team and the head coach, let's be ruthless. Let's take it to him. Is there anything else you want to add?
I was just going to say with the interceptions, knowing the type of player Allen is, he is a gunslinger. He is kind of like a Brett Favre comparison.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you take the good with the bad. And, you got to enjoy the good and understand that with the risk taking. And now, granted, some of these interceptions he's thrown as of late have just been completely boneheaded, like you referred to earlier in an earlier podcast. But, you're going to have that, though, with a player like Allen. And as long as we keep winning and we keep on making the playoffs and make deep runs and try to contend for a Super Bowl, it's going to be easier to take some of those interceptions on the stat line. From a fan's perspective, though, and really wanting Allen to get an MVP just to see him get something like that, like an individual accolade, just because we put him on a pedestal and we really want to see him shine. Yeah, from that perspective, yes, it would be nice to see him throw. We obviously hope he didn't throw another pick for the rest of the year, but
just think, it was only 5 years ago that the Bills skipped out on Josh Rosen, the legendary Josh Rosen, to pick up Josh Allen.
That was going to make every other team regret their decision. He was going to be the next Tom Brady.
Who would have thought 5 years later he was MVP caliber? They have made the playoffs for 3 consecutive years.
Won the division 2 years in a row.
Yes, and he could throw for 5,000 yards. And we're like, well, he's had an off year at 7-3. we would all be naming our podcast The House That Alan Built.
Well, yeah, back in the drought days, it would be a fan's wet dream to have a 7-3 season. We were praying for 7 wins, so.
I'm glad that Josh Allen is our QB1. I'm very proud to be from Buffalo and be a Bills fan. I know even though you're from South Dakota, you're very proud to be a Bills fan. You remind me so much of my hometown, and that's why we're so close. I feel like we have that Bills bond. Even if we meet strangers that are from Buffalo or are Bills fans, there's always something that we share, and that's the beauty of it. A lot of Buffalo's blue collar, but we're from everywhere. It's a melting pot of fans. And there's a reason why they're that passionate, because we ride that roller coaster up and down.
Yeah. I'm not from Buffalo, and I never will be, but I'm proud to be a part and represent a group of people like Buffalonians and like the city. It's a pleasure and an honor to be a part of it. And,
Same. My grandfather had season tickets since the first year, and they played at the Rock Pile. They came into Orchard Park in the early 70s, and Bill's side, second section up, 50-yard line. I got to a game every year since I can remember. And once I went to college, my dad died, my grandmother died, my mom got rid of the tickets. I was pissed. But I still got to go to a game this year, and hopefully we get to go to a game, if not this year, next year. But yeah. I say they make the Super Bowl, I'll sell all my Josh Allen cards and we'll both go. Let's make it happen.
Don't say that. Don't.
If I have to sell a couple of those and get us to that thing, we'll do it.
Don't put the cart ahead of the horse.
That's true. So. All right, I think that's all we have for today. This is episode 19 of The House That Alan Built.
And as always, Bills Mafia, as we get ready for this turkey day, don't forget the stuffing. Don't forget the mashed potatoes and gravy. Don't forget the green bean casserole. Don't forget the bison dip.
Yes.
And as always, pound some Labatt's, jump through some tables responsibly. And as always, take a few hydration breaks.
That's going to do it for episode 19 of The House That Alan Built. I'm Scott Kinmartin. With me, as always,
Greg Vollmer.
Thank you for watching. Let's go
Buffalo!
We'll see you next time.
Have a great turkey day, everybody. Woo!
Coming this Thursday on CBS at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. The Buffalo Bills take on the Detroit Lions. That actually hurts my voice when I do it. Doing it well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's get ready to rumble!
Nice.
Nice. That's it.
Topographical.
Let's go Buffalo.
Let's go Buffalo.
Buffalo Bison Chip Dip. Just Bison Chip Dip, 1931.
Since
Upstate Niagara Corporation, Buffalo. This stuff is good. You want to try it?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to try some of this Buffalo Bison Dip.
From the 716.
Yeah, I brought it back with me. It's sniffing it.
Smells like victory. Oh, yeah.
Victory Monday.
Boom.
Ooh. Is that not good?
That's good bison dip.
It is. Made directly from the American bison.
100% bison milk.
It's sperm. No joke. This stuff is amazing. I wonder if I can get it on Amazon. If so, I'll post a link in the description. Man, I actually got this at the airport because I forgot to get it at Wegmans when I was in town.
They have it at the airport?
Yeah. Yeah, and I got some Salem's hot dogs. We have cards here. Now that I'm done eating chips, I want to go over my card. This is a 2022 Panini Black Football. Josh Allen. This is amazing. I love this card. This is from the White Knight series. Look at that. The Black series. It's super nice. It's a case hit. All right. What do you have on your side there, buddy?
On my side, I've got a 2022 Panini Certified Football Josh Allen the Mighty 2022 Certified. Super cool. You can see the graphics. It's one of those cool cards that has like the different textures on it. They've come so far from the back in the day where you really just had holograph cards, and now you've got like these different textures and topographical cards. Anyways, the Mighty.
Good card.
It's a beaut. It's a beaut, Clark.
Damn, these chips are good.
All right.
Warm.
Motor up. What's your price for flight?